A lot of that is Kira's food. If I just stood on those crisps. Since you last saw us, we've left Culodden and we're heading west on the A835. We're going to have a day trip before we head on to our next campervan site. We're out for a walk now in the Culodden forest because we're on our way to our next campsite, which is...
The wee campsite.
The wee campsite.
At Lochcarron.
So we're going to see if that lives up to its name.
I think it does.
The wee brown van in the wee campsite. That's going to be fun. Like I say, this is the Culodden forest, and the Blackwater River cuts through this. It takes you to the Rogie Falls, where people have been coming for many years, since Victorian times I think. And one of the main attractions is that there's a salmon leap. So the salmon actually come upriver to lay their eggs and mate. Well, actually mate first and then lay their eggs, isn't it? Get the order right. Yeah, so people have been coming here since the Victorian times. So it's quite a good attraction. Really looking forward to it. I don't know if we'll see any salmon actually, because the salmon apparently they spawn between July and September, and we're into October now. You wouldn't think it, it's a beautiful day. But fingers crossed, you never know, we might see a salmon. I'm just starting to hear the river now, can you hear it? I can see it as well, down that way. On the notice board here, a salmon's tail. So now we know the right order, don't we? So the eggs are actually laid first, and then the dad comes along and he fertilises the eggs. And there they are there. So I don't know if we're going to see any salmon, but we can certainly see the falls. We'll go down and see if we can get a bit closer. I think I just got a salmon on film. You have to look closely. We're back at the car park for Rogie Falls. So pleased about getting these salmon. Quite a busy wee car park. A lot of people having the same idea as us. It's a great day out. Why not take advantage of the stop?
So we've just left Rogie Falls and now we're on our way to the wee campsite at Lochcarron.
We've arrived at the wee campsite. It's just a wee, totty wee campsite. But it's big enough for the wee brown van. We're just getting the van unpacked. Getting the wee tent up. How are you getting on?
Getting the garage ready.
Getting the garage ready.
Yeah.
Reserved. It's amazing what we can get in this little tent of ours. We're only here for one night, but it still means that everything's got to come out of the van and go into the tent, just to give us a little bit more space.
Well, because we've got lots of tins.
We have got lots of tins. Have a look at this lot. That's the food going in. So we've got some tins in here. And we've also got some tins over here. A lot of that is Kira's food. If I just stood on those crisps. Oh, sorry.
They're yours.
The wee campsite's just on this road. which is right on the shores of Lochcarron. And Lochcarron is just such a beautiful loch. The sun glistening over the water and the sun reaching out over onto the hills in the distance. Lochcarron also has its own hotel right on the banks of the loch, and there's a little garage and a little shop. Just walking back to the campsite now along the shore of the loch. Feel a little bit guilty because I left Trish to unpack the van back at the campsite while I get to go out with Kira. So somebody had to do it though, and she drew the short straw. Now, as I said earlier, we're using campsites on this trip. We're using several campsites, about 10 or something like that. Trish would tell you exactly how many, because she's booked them all up. I just let her get on with it. And I suppose there's pros and cons over using campsites or wild camping when you do the NC500. Now, when we did our research, what we found was that because of this time of the year, we've got this coronavirus that's still hanging around, and camper vanning and motorhoming has just become so popular that the NC500 has been inundated this year. And what we've seen online is that a lot of people just haven't been able to get any decent wild camping spots. They've been having to park in laybys and things like that, which isn't ideal. And that's probably the main reason that we decided to do it with campsites. Kira, come on, this way. On the flip side, one of the good things about wild camping is that you don't need to stick to a schedule. If it's pouring with rain and you want to move on, you just go, don't you? Whereas if you're in a campsite, you're booked at certain campsites on certain dates. So that's definitely one of the advantages of wild camping. It's 7:30 in the morning here at the wee campsite at Lochcarron, so I've got a chance to show you around a little bit before everybody gets up out of their beds. So the site's on 5 different levels. The first 2 are for tents up the top, then you come down and it's motorhomes on the next 2 levels, and down at the bottom there's this little picnic area that can also be used for some more tents. But you can see how it's on different levels here, and these 2 are for your small motorhomes and camper vans. There's 2 small toilet cubicles which are perfectly adequate, and there's a great walk up the hill there. Takes you up to a terrific little viewing point. We went up there last night and sat there for a little while. Me and Kira took a few photos. We've had a wee, so we've jumped into the wee brown van and we're leaving the wee campsite. Going for a wee drive because there's a wee Scottish castle that we want to see.
Up the wee road?
Aye, down the wee road.
Oh, no, up the wee road.
We like the word wee, don't we?
We do.
And this is Strome Castle. Dates back to the 15th century. It was owned by the Mackenzies. They had it until 1602, and then it was besieged by the Mackenzies along with the Mathesons, and they blew it up, didn't they? That was just the tribal clan warfare for you. That was going on throughout Scotland a lot back then. There's none of that nowadays. What we do have is this picturesque vision of tranquility. So that was Strome Castle.
Yep.
It's great, wasn't it?
It was lovely. Not much of it, but very nice.
What was left was great. We're jumping back in the van now and we're going to head down to Applecross for that famous Applecross Pass.
Yep.
You're driving, aren't you?
Yep.
So I'll be able to take a few shots. But that's for the next vlog. Alright, so we'll see you on that one. Remember and subscribe and join us for part 3 of our adventure. Bye for now.
Bye.
Ta-da!